Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the match week 14 review. Now, a very eventful match week, 37 goals scored all around, 14 on a Saturday, 23 on a Sunday. Listen, it was very eventful. So many goals to discuss, so many talking points, so many brilliant games, especially on a Sunday. And we're going to dive into that, starting with the games over the weekend. So we're going to start off with one of the games that kicked us off on a Saturday, and that was Arsenal taking on Wolves. Arsenal won the game 2-1, goals from Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard, and then Cunha late on pulled one back for Wolves. Kind of like measured performance from Arsenal. Expected a bit more. Expected it was a type of game where they would just, because they scored 2 goals early on. You'd have thought they were gonna just kick on from there and they were going to end up scoring 4, maybe 5 again like they did against Sheffield United, but much more measured performance from them. Some would say they kind of took the foot off the gas, but ultimately they got the result. Coming off of that 6-0 win again in Europe, I think it was very important for them to continue with that momentum, and they did well, played very well, and yeah, they managed to get the 3 points on the day. So Arsenal winning 2-1 against Wolves. In the other game was Brentford taking on Luton Town. Brentford winning 3-1, goals from Neil Maupay, Ben Mee, and Baptiste, and then Jay Brown scoring for Luton Town. It was a good win again for Brentford, coming off of last week's game where they just narrowly lost to Arsenal, picking themselves up again, bouncing back, and they got the much needed win. And yeah, it's good for Brentford getting back, or that win coincidentally took them into 10th at the time, even though I think they're 11th, around 11th in the table right now. But yeah, it was a good win for Brentford in the end, and they did well. The other games that took place over the weekend was Burnley beating Sheffield United. Listen, was a massive scoreline for Burnley, beating Sheffield United 5-0. If you had looked at them last week, like I said, against West Ham, they played very well. They were quite unlucky to lose the game in the manner that they did in the last minute, lapses of concentration. But yeah, this time around, they made no mistake, and they took Sheffield United to the cleaners. Although you can look at it and say McBurney's red card kind of helped them out a little bit. Sheffield United were down. The first one in itself, in my opinion, could have been a red card. Just that he got away with the yellow. And the second one, you would feel sorry for him because I think he's trying to go for the ball, but again, you made it's more like you made 2 similar challenges, 2 similar offenses, and yeah, the referee is not going to be as compassionate, and so unfortunately for McBurney, he got sent off. But hey, listen, they took full advantage of that, getting 5 goals. Everybody joined the party, and it was a good win for Burnley. It was a much-needed win, especially after that last week's performance. I really felt like they needed that, and they came out and evidently eventually they got the result. So fair play to Burnley beating Sheffield United 5-0. Very much needed 3 points again in that relegation fight amongst those 3 teams. So it was very good for Burnley. In the other games that took place, Everton beat Nottingham Forest 1-0. They got a very vital away win, coming off of that 10-point deduction, coming off of that Man United performance. Listen, they managed to get a 1-0 win, goal from Dwight McNeil. Forest should feel hard done by. I do feel like they had 2 shouts for the penalties. I mean, the handball by Doucouré was a bit. I mean, there's no way Doucouré could take his hand in that position. So unfortunately, maybe that's where I would have felt that was more of a penalty. But I did feel the foul when Doucouré brings the Sheffield United player down. I do think that was a penalty. And then the reason that it says there's not minimal contact, I don't get it for me, because I think that's enough. There was enough in that challenge. There was enough in that challenge for it to be a penalty. So I thought Nottingham Forest were hard done by, but hey, in the end, Everton getting a much needed win, especially being deducted 10 points. So it was a good win for Everton on the road and away from home. In the other games on the weekend, we had the last game, the 8 p.m. kickoff, which was Man United taking on Newcastle United. I thought Newcastle United played very well, coming off of coming off the game of Paris Saint-Germain. I thought that would have been a little bit lackluster in my opinion, because I felt like, okay, that 11 has been put in a shift. They put in a shift against Chelsea, did well, 1-4-1, put in a shift against PSG when lacking robbed, in my opinion. Should have got something ultimately out of that game. And then you go into the Man United performance. I thought they were great from start to finish. They dominated Manchester United. I think the 1-0 scoreline is flattering because it could have easily been 2, could have easily been 3 because they dominated. Goal from Anthony Gordon. He's been very, very good form. He's really picked himself up. A player who came off from Everton, had so much potential at Everton, and even at Everton he was looking like he's got a ceiling, but he's going to Newcastle, different team, different setup, and listen, he's killing it right now, and he's very, very confident in front of goal, got the vital goal. 1-0. United, very, very poor performance, very, very lackluster. I thought after their defeat against Galatasaray midweek, they were going to come out, give a little bit more, make more of a game of it. And I expected it to be full on the draw because I thought the two sides would cancel each other out. But listen, Newcastle dominated, got the vital win, Anthony Gordon with the goal. And yeah, it continues this upward trend. And they went above Man United coincidentally as well on the table. So it was good for Newcastle and continued that upward trend. Then we go into Sunday, 23-goal Sunday. Kicked off with Brighton. Chelsea beating Brighton 2-0. Not the most convincing performance. If you want to know my thoughts on the game, I'll leave a link in the description about my post-match reaction concerning the Chelsea Brighton game. But yeah, listen, it was a game that Chelsea again began very, very well. They looking like, listen, it might be that type of a performance that they could go and score many goals and, we could really open Brighton up. But wasn't to be. Brighton put one back again. In the game as well, Chelsea defending with 4 centre-backs. Levi Colwill could have done a little bit better, but it was a good goal from the Brighton player at the time. And listen, even at that point, I do feel like Chelsea still had the levels to go another gear. But, Conor Gallagher gets himself sent off, and, Chelsea are disadvantaged for the majority of the match. And I thought they showed great character as well. Still young side, still learning. And I do feel we're helped by the fact that Brighton had injuries. I think if they had their full squad, they quite easily get back in that game and maybe even potentially win with a man advantage. Who knows? But yeah, Chelsea hung on in the end. We got a goal, contentious penalty. Some say it's not a penalty. Some say, it was a penalty. I don't think there was enough in it. I can understand when you say in the rules of the game where the player gets the contact by that metric. Yes, I can say it was a penalty. But at the end of the day, it was one of those. It's a debatable call. It was a debatable call, but yeah, Enzo stepping up. Enzo himself having a great performance, scoring 2 goals. The other one, Levi Colwill as well, scoring against his former club. So it was overall a good performance. It was overall not the best performance, but it was something Chelsea needed. They just needed to pick up 3 points because, we need to start getting some consistency on the board. So evidently we won the game 3-2. Wasn't a great performance, but yeah, Chelsea beating Brighton 3-2. The other game on Sunday was a thriller at Anfield. Liverpool beating Fulham 4-3. Trent Alexander-Arnold got the proceedings, starting off with a great free kick, even though it was dubbed a Leno on goal. Should have been credited to him, let's be honest. That was a great free kick from Trent Alexander. They got themselves back into the game. Fulham, Wilson, former Liverpool academy product, equalising against his old club. And then Liverpool themselves as well, equalising again against his old club. And then Liverpool again taking the lead. McAllister, what a goal. What a goal. Very, very very Steven Gerrard-esque, you might say. One of the great goals you see at Anfield for, a long time as well. It was a great, well-taken goal from McAllister. And then, again, Liverpool had lapses in concentration. Tete scoring, ends up being 2-2. And at that point, you would have thought, as the way the game was shaping up, it was going to be a 2-2 draw. I thought for most of the game, Fulham was going to at least leave Anfield with a point. But when they scored the third goal, I think that really riled Liverpool up. And Liverpool said, right, we can't lose this game from this point on. And they came back and, listen, great finish from Endo from the edge of the box. Pass from assist from Mo Salah. He finishes it top bins. Great finish from Endo. And then a few minutes later, listen, it just turned on its head. Trent Alexander-Arnold coming back, stepping up again. And yeah, brilliant in the past couple of games. Has been Liverpool's main man in the last 2 games, the City game. And now this one stepped up again and scored the winning goal. And yeah, it was a great result for Liverpool. A great comeback from Liverpool. And yeah, in terms of their title aspiration, gives them a big boost because 80 minutes into the game, they looked like they were probably going to get a draw. Looked like it was probably going to be points drop, but listen, they managed to pick themselves up, and they managed to in the end get the much needed vital goal. And yeah, it takes them to within 2 points of Arsenal. If not it takes them to within 2 points of Arsenal in the table. So that was a good result for Liverpool. In the other games on Sunday, Bournemouth and Villa played out to a 2-2 draw. Goals from Bournemouth Semenyo got proceedings started for Bournemouth, scoring a great goal. Equalizer from Leon Bailey, been a good form from Leon Bailey, scoring a very well taken goal. Had a goal disallowed as well. Villa, I can't quite remember the player that put the ball in the back of the net, but Villa had a goal disallowed. And Bournemouth again taking the lead. Solanke, great finish again. He's been in good scoring form. I think that was his eighth goal of the season, if I'm not mistaken, so far. Been in good goal scoring form. And then Ollie Watkins, again, a very reliable Villa player as well. Another player who's been in good goal scoring form, gets a wonderful wicked header under near post. And yeah, the game ends 2-2. Points drops for Villa because you expect them to be winning these games. But again, coming from playing a game midweek in Europe, they're not going to give the same levels. But yeah, good point from Aston Villa, showing that consistency, showing that they, keeping their top 5, even top 4 shouts and aspirations about. So listen, we have to keep a close eye on Villa. That was a very good point in the end from a losing position as well. And then the other game was West Ham versus Crystal Palace. Was pretty much a stalemate game. Goes from Mohamed Kudus in the end, and then Edouard coming off a West Ham mistake. That was a very poor back pass. Didn't know where his defender was, passed it back to Edouard. Edouard took full advantage and yeah, got Crystal Palace the point. So I thought disappointing from West Ham, should have been winning that game at home. And yeah, Crystal Palace on the day got a draw. And then in the big game of the weekend, Manchester City taking on Tottenham Hotspur. Game ended 3-3. Goals from Son Heung-min, got proceedings started. Unfortunately for him, then puts the ball in his own net. In the other end, Phil Foden came in. Phil Foden from an Alvarez assist, giving them that 2-1. And then at that point, you thought Manchester City were just going to cruise on, but no, Tottenham came back well, taking goal from Giovanni Lo Celso. Jack Grealish coming off the bench. Jeremy Doku, injury concerns. Might he be available for the next game? We won't know, but Jack Grealish coming off the bench, and listen, up until that Haaland assist, looked like he was the match winner. But Tottenham had other ideas, and you have to give them credit because they still stuck with their principles of playing the high line. I thought that was going to be their downfall in the end, but they found a very measured approach, very balanced approach, and yeah, their luck was rewarded. I think there was a bit of poor defending on the right, on the left hand side when the ball comes in. Ake is not really looking at his man. Kulusevski's got the run on him, so I don't think Ake was in the ballpark on that one because Kulusevski's got the run on him. He measured it very well, rises up for the header. And it's a good header. It's 3-3. City do feel or should feel aggrieved because they did have a chance late on. The referee, Haaland's fouled. The referee wants to blow for the foul, but Haaland gets up, plays the ball in behind. Jack Grealish is through on goal, 1-on-1, and then he blows the whistle. For what reason, we won't know why, but I think it was to Manchester City's discredit because I still think they should have been given that chance. And listen, it really upset them, and I feel like that was a moment that they were hard done by in the game because they should have been given that. But in the end, it's 3-3 again. Points dropped again for Man City. They've dropped, some would say, 6 points in the last couple of games. It hasn't been good. They've scored. I saw a stat in the last 4 games that say they've scored 11 goals and conceded 10. So they're kind of looks like they're leaking goals at the moment. It's not looking sure. John Stones hasn't been in the squad in the past couple of games, so it hasn't been as solid at the back there. So yeah, question marks and concerns for Manchester City going into this about their defense and everything. But we shall take a look at the table right now, and Arsenal still top of the table. Just get the table loading here just a bit. So Arsenal still top the table with 33 points, followed by Liverpool, who are in second with 31 points. Manchester City in third with 30 points. Aston Villa in fourth with 29 points. Still keeping afloat of the top 3. Tottenham in fifth with 27. Newcastle United beating Man United over the weekend in sixth with 26. Man United losing over the weekend, but still 7th with 24. Brighton losing as well, but still 8th with 22. West Ham picking up a vital win Going up to 9th with 21 points, Chelsea beating Brighton 3-2. In 10th with 19 points, Brentford as well. 11th, same points with Chelsea, 19. Crystal Palace in 12th with 16 points. Wolves in 13th with 15 points. Fulham in 14th with 15 as well. Nottingham Forest losing against Everton. They remain 15th with 13 points. Bournemouth picking up a draw are in 16th with 13 points. Luton Town are in 14th with 9 points. Everton are in 14th with 7 points, and Burnley are in 19th with 7 points, and Sheffield United, who got beat over the weekend, are in 20th with 5 points. So we've got a round of games this week, a couple of fixtures to be played. Let me just run through the fixtures in the midweek games this week. Let's get that up. So yeah, we've got a couple of games midweek this week, and Wolves are taking on Burnley. Arsenal go to Luton Town. Sheffield United take on Liverpool. Fulham take on Nottingham Forest. Crystal Palace take on Bournemouth. Brighton take on Brentford. United, big game of the week. Midweek fixtures take on Chelsea. Aston Villa take on Manchester City. Everton take on Newcastle, and Tottenham round off the midweek fixtures with a home fixture against West Ham. So some big games this week. I will leave my predictions and what I think will happen in these games in the midweeks, but that comes to the end of our video for the weekend review. There will be a midweek review dropping on Friday after the games, so make sure that there will be a Chelsea match reaction as well, potentially other games as well, so look out for that. Look out for those videos dropping this week. But thank you for the likes, thank you for the love on the channel. Big up the community. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, people. Take care and peace.